Today, I want to talk about my predictions for 2023 in the photography industry. I'm going to touch on AI. I'm going to touch on what I think are going to be some massive market hits, inflation, and camera manufacturing. Hey everybody, welcome to Studio Builder. I'm Kevin Patrick Robbins. It's 2023. I have some predictions for this year, so I want to cover them. The first big thing, I think AI is going to be massive this year. It started out last year, but I think I have some opinions about AI image generators that are different from, I think, a lot of photographers, and ChatGPT, which is something that I've been using on pretty much a daily basis to help with my photography business now, and other things that have to do with AI and how I'm currently using and have been using AI in my business for about a year now. The first thing I want to touch on are plugins. Maybe you've been using AI for a while now as well and didn't even know it. If you use Photoshop's neural filters, those are AI filters. I use 3 filters from a company called Retouch for Me. I saw these demonstrated on the Piximperfect channel, and I was blown away. I went and got them, and I've been using them for at least a year now, I think. They have been a game changer for me in my business and my retouching and the quality of my images and the amount of time that I have saved. Those plugins are hands down the best investment I made in my business last year. What I also had the ability to experiment and play with last year, because I had a couple of weddings to finish out, were other couple of other AI tools. One was Aftershoot, which uses artificial intelligence to detect blurry photos, closed eyes, and do a lot of your image culling for you. So if you're shooting a wedding and you end up and you have a second shooter and you end up with thousands of images, you can use Aftershoot to give you a good basic color rating, cull off the top, and then you can start paring down from there. Also, Imagine AI, which it's spelled Imagen, and I in my head, and I still say Imagen, but it's pronounced Imagine AI. I only figured that out after watching a couple of their YouTube videos. They have a process by which, once you are done your culling and you've figured out the images that you want to use, you can pick a profile from another photographer, another wedding photographer, for example, or you can use Lightroom catalogs of your images to train the AI with your editing style and build your own profile so that you can edit subsequent catalogs and such as weddings or portrait sessions in your specific style. And I think that's phenomenal. The only thing I don't like about it is that I don't use Lightroom. I use Capture One. I haven't used Lightroom in about 8 years. And so I had to go back in this year when processing a wedding and tinker with figuring out how to use Lightroom again. I would like to see tools like that developed for Capture One. Speaking of which, Capture One has a new tool. I did a video about it. I'll link to that up here. The Smart Adjustments tool uses facial recognition to make smart adjustments, and I'm pretty sure that is based on machine learning, and there's an artificial intelligence engine built into that to do that. So we're going to see AI in our workflow process in many, many ways. What you may have been seeing is Midjourney, images coming out of Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, Dolly, and I've tinkered around with those a little bit. And I think where that could be useful for you in your business is if you're developing concepts for mood boards and you actually want to be able to develop a specific concept for a shoot, you can use prompts to create those images in Midjourney to say, this is what I'm going for. This is the image that we're going to try and create in the real world. So you can use Midjourney not just to create backgrounds or textures or things like that, or to create images that you could use as digital art, but you could use it to create images that are specifically going to be used as reference images for your mood board. You can use that to build a mood board for a shoot in Milanote or in your gallery software, however you want to do it. Milanote's a great way to build mood boards. It's one of the best ways, and I have a link down to that in the description if you want to check out Milanote. It's phenomenal. I think what we'll also see when it comes to image generators are websites starting to integrate with image generators as well. For example, Squarespace, if you drop an image for a background or just put an image in, it can connect to Unsplash, which gives you free stock photography, but you can also then put in Getty images directly in Squarespace as well. But you might start seeing being able to add a prompt and generate images and generate stock images right in your Squarespace website. I think that's something that we're going to see this year. If any industry is going to get hit by image generation, it's going to be stock photography. As long as, right now, AI is not doing so well with hands. So as long as the hands aren't in the photo, images look pretty great. And we might see that put to use for stock photography in ads, in images that are generic, that don't need to have the product or sell a specific brand or have the brand identity and look and feel involved in the shoot. I think for commercial shoots, I don't think AI is going to be touching that anytime soon, because you definitely need to have everything very specific and meticulous when you're doing a commercial shoot. Now, the other AI tool that I use right now is ChatGPT. You've probably heard about it. It's grown very quickly, massive user base, and it is a chatbot that has access to a ton of information. The current version has, I think it's 10 billion connections, neural connections, and GPT-4, which is coming out later this year, I think in a few months, has 100 trillion connections. So it's literally, I think, 1,000 or 10,000 times bigger, the language model, in the next version. And from early reports, it's blowing people away. It's ChatGPT is blowing people away, and this version is blowing it out of the water. What you can use ChatGPT for, some people are using it to write blog posts. That's probably not a good idea. What it would be good for is if you wanted to write an outline for a blog post and then you go in and write in and fill in the blanks, or if you wanted to create a sales page for a special shoot that you're doing, maybe a Valentine's Day shoot or a Mother's Day shoot, you could go into ChatGPT and you could say, what are the top 10 copywriting formats for promoting an offer on a website? It might give you a list of StoryBrand and Pastor and Ada. And then you could say, okay, create an outline for a Mother's Day portrait special using the Ada copywriting formula. And then it'll give you an outline, and then you have an outline for your web page to structure that page and to promote the offer that you want to do. And these are very good, very tried and true copyright sales methodologies that people use on their websites all the time. Even if you don't know anything about doing sales or promotions, you can ask it to help you. That's where I think ChatGPT is really strong. I use it almost as a research assistant in my business. You can research project ideas. If you want to do a personal project and you want to focus on extraordinary jobs, you might say, give me a list of extraordinary jobs that require a lot of skill and talent or something, and then it might give you a list, and then you could pick one of those, and you could say, give me a list of items that someone in this position might interact with on a regular basis, what they might wear, etc. And then it will give you a list, so you might know how to then put together props for the shoot, wardrobe for the shoot, and you could even ask it for location settings where this might take place, and you could either build a set or you could find a set or a location to shoot on, and just use it as a research assistant. So you're not necessarily searching Google. You are using ChatGPT to help you develop and outline your shoot. We know Microsoft is going to be integrating ChatGPT with their Bing search service very soon. And Google has issued a code red, a company-wide code red about this, and they are worried and they are scared. So what you're definitely going to have to watch out for, every photographer is going to have to watch out for this year, is how the integration of AI into search results is going to affect your search engine optimization. So you're going to have to stay on top of that. I'm going to have to stay on top of that. What I find out, I will help deliver to you as well. We're going to have to adjust. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are going to have to adjust to figuring out how this is going to change our marketing and our promotions and what we do in our websites. The other thing that we're going to have to deal with this year is inflation. Inflation is going crazy. Cost of everything is going up. It's making it harder for people to pay for services, but it's also making it more difficult for us to make a living. We may have to make price adjustments that may make it more difficult for people to hire us in the short run. So I think we're going to see a dramatic dropout of the middle, which has been coming for a while. The higher end of the market, where people have a lot of money and they're not worried about paying. If you're a commercial photographer, we're talking about ad agencies and not, small mom and pop businesses. With portrait photography, a lot of people who are bottom level photographers in terms of pricing, I think we're going to see a lot of them shut down their businesses because inflation is going to be too high and they're not going to be able to run a business on low rates. So I think we're going to see a lot of photographers go out of business this year due to inflation and the rising costs of running a business and, just maintaining a lifestyle. It's getting a lot more expensive. And if you can't bring in the money that you need to live, to pay rent, to buy food, to pay for gas, then those people are going to realize that what they're doing, and hopefully that's not you, what they're doing is not sustainable. And so they will leave the market and have to go get 9-to-5s, which may be better for those of us who remain because there will be fewer of us in the market. Also, due to inflation, if you're a wedding photographer, I think we're going to see much more scaled down weddings or fewer weddings. It is a known statistic. You can look it up on Google that as we go into recessions, fewer people get married. Fewer people couple up and actually have weddings. So I think we're going to see maybe not a decrease this year because these weddings are booked, but booking into 2024, 2025 is going to take a hit as well. So be prepared for that. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today, and I think we've seen it coming for a while, is I think DSLR cameras, SLR cameras are going to the final nail in their coffin is going to happen this year. I think every camera manufacturer is going to go to mirrorless exclusively, and we are going to see the end of SLR cameras. I held out for a long time. I was using Canon 6D for years. Before that, a 60D. I've had this R6 for 2 years now, and it has been a game changer for me. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and I would never go back to an SLR camera after using a mirrorless. So that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think are going to be the big predictions that are going to happen this year in 2023, and we will revisit this next year with new predictions and see how well I fared on these. All right, thanks for watching.